Writing Task 1. Writing a letter. Let's start by reading the question. You recently visited a place that had a strong impact on you. Write a letter to a friend about the place. Now it tells us what to include in our letter. In your letter, explain where the place was and how you got there. Describe what you saw. Offer to take your friend there. Okay, let's start. Okay, the first thing I will write is Dear Rosie. I only included her first name. Why did I do that? Well, the first thing I want to look at is, when writing a letter, is this a formal or informal letter? Look at the question. You recently visited a place that had a strong impact on you. Write a letter to a friend about the place. Well, a friend means it's an informal letter. So I will just use the first name or the given name. So, Dear Rosie. Dear first name, Dear Rosie. Now let's start the first paragraph. I hope you are doing well. This is a friendly introduction, a friendly greeting that I might give to a friend. I have just come back from my vacation to Prague. And it was an amazing place to visit. Okay, so I have, in this first paragraph, it is very short, but that's okay. In the first paragraph, I talked about where it was. Now, I didn't really mention how I got there. I'll have to do that in the next paragraph. But at least she knows where I went. Okay, new paragraph. As I mentioned on the phone, I'm imagining here that I'm talking to a real friend in this letter. So I'm writing a letter to a friend that I've probably spoken to on the phone before, or maybe I've written a letter to in the past. So I will say, as I mentioned on the phone, I have been traveling by train in Eastern Europe. So now she knows how I got there, and that is what the question asks me to include in my answer. She knows I was traveling by train. Next, I will write, I think that traveling by train is quite pleasant. Why is it quite pleasant? I have to give a reason. Okay, as you can just relax in your seat and look out at the beautiful countryside. So you see, I have just added some details about my train ride, which is how I got there to Prague. All right, let's do a new paragraph. What else do we have to answer here? Describe what you saw. Okay, let's describe what we saw in Prague. Upon arrival, I went to the jazz dock and listened to a jazz performance on the water. The jazz dock is the name of the performance hall that I went to. It does happen to be a real place in Prague, but it's okay if you just make up a name or don't even include a name at all. But I came up with Jazz Dock. I have also visited St. James Cathedral. What else? And the astronomical clock tower. Which is over 600 years old. Do you see how I'm including some details about the things that I saw? You don't have to include a lot of details, but just include some details so you have more to write. I could actually write a little bit more about this astronomical clock tower because it was so interesting. The clock puts on a show every hour. As 12 apostles poke their heads out and a rooster crows. Cock-a-doodle-doo! I probably shouldn't write that in my essay. So now I've described what I saw. That means we can finish up with our paragraph on I have to offer to take my friend there. Okay. Well, I plan on returning to Prague on our next trip. So if you want to join me, I can show you around the city. Please come with me. There are so many spots I would love to show you. Great, so I've offered to take my friend there. Now, how can I finish? I can say, love, Brian. So the word love, it's a very close friend, so I use the word love because I'm very close to my friend Rosie. And this is an informal letter. If this was a formal letter, of course I would not use the word love. I would use something more formal. But in this case, I used love. And I only wrote my first name, Brian, not my first and last name. Again, because this is an informal letter.